Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comic Wall. It's your girl, the Outcast Angel, and today let's talk about issue 3 of Stellar by Joseph Keatinge and Bret Blevins. Now, this issue was a lot. Like, in the sense that it was a lot to take in, and we actually lost a lot of time between issue 2 and issue 3, and you'll see as we jump into it, because we start off right after issue 2, where we saw Umbra catch up with Stellar after he, Apogee, and Aphelion had captured her, and their ship was destroyed, and he was pretty badly wounded. Turned out he was actually fatally wounded, because in this issue we see Stellar burying Umbra and, well, making a grave for him, and she's very well, torn up by this. I mean, she's we see her here grieving him, and I feel that between the four of them, Stellar was probably the closest to Umbra, and we saw that especially in the last, well, in issue 2. And as Stellar's mourning Umbra, this huge creature just runs through the area, chasing this tiny little thing. And Stellar, first off, she kills this huge creature by blasting this huge blast of energy through it and out its face. Because look at this panel, guys. It's first off, it's disgusting, but it's beautiful because it's just the colors and the design, and it's intense. Excuse me, I can't get my words out. And after she takes care of that huge creature, she finds this little cutie, and honestly, it reminds me so much of like a jackalope. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they're not real, but you know, they're the type of like rabbits that have like little horns on them. I'm pretty sure they're not real. At least I don't think so. Anyway, she finds a friend or a companion, you know, and I feel that this is probably essential in her development, because obviously she just lost someone that was really close to her, and probably someone that she loved to an extent, you know, and so now she has something else to love and to care for. And so in this next series of panels, we see Stellar and her little friend wandering this world that they're stuck on, and they're growing. Like, it's obviously years, because Stellar's hair grows beautifully, first off, because I loved her shortcut. Like, I would probably do that style too if it didn't make me look too much like a boy again, but I don't know, maybe someday. But her hair just grows amazingly, and as we see them growing, her little friend gets older, and at the end of this series of panels, he dies. And so first off, he lived a good while, because I mean, it had to be a few years between their meeting and their leaving, you know, because her hair is well past her butt, you know, so that has to take a few years at least. And so again, she doesn't get long to grieve for her little friend, because Aphelion and Apogee have found her, and they've changed a whole lot since issue 2. And turns out, as well, they start fighting again, and turns out they've found Zenith, or more correctly, Zenith found them. And as Apogee says, he upgraded them. And first off, Apogee just looks terrifying. He looks oddly similar to Zenith, as we saw in issue 2, and it's just very uncomforting. Bret Blevins really knows how to make his audience uncomfortable. But he says that Zenith found us, evolved us, and he desires to evolve you too. So now they're working for Zenith. Before, the before, what I kind of gathered is that Umbra, Umbra, Apogee, and Aphelion were looking for Stellar in order to turn against Zenith again, because they were obviously very scared of him. But now these two are working for him. So, what does that mean? And so, Stellar's obviously still much more stronger than these two, because even with their upgrades and their most of their body being taken over by technology, she still manages to whoop their butts. But they finally, I guess, they're finally able to overtake her after one of their robots punches her into the ground and she loses consciousness. And then in this next scene we see well, as she's starting to gain consciousness, we see these panels of like film, and the scientist standing in front of what looks like a portal or a gateway, as we'll see right now, because turns out they were dabbling in some kind of dabbling, that's a funny word, in some kind of interdimensional communication or travel. And honestly, interdimension, like alternate realities or alternate dimensions, terrify me, but they also really interest me, because I mean, just seeing how the many different ways life could go or develop, or the way different paths life can take, it's really interesting to me. I mean, like, Oblivion Song is a really good example of that, of alternate, or not alternate dimensions, but like different dimensions. And even Rick and Morty is pretty cool at that as well. But it's just one of my biggest interests, to say the least. And turns out they found something on the other side of this portal, but turns out it probably wasn't the best thing for them, because like in one of these clips you see hostilities growing, unclear how many are dead, their technology, and cuts out. And then the final thing we see here, day 23, I've been told this is my final report. Everything's gone into the hands of the military. I've told them this is a mistake. They don't understand. And then the clip kind of just burns out from there. And we see Stellar has gained consciousness, and someone off panel is saying, there's much more, as you can imagine, reel upon reel of society's downfall. Believe it or not, there was a time our planet thought it was alone in the universe, but then other life was encountered. At first, sure, it caused an uproar. Religions came undone. Tensions across the globe increased over much more politics, economics, everything. But turns out that this planet, or this society, band together in order to organize themselves in order to deal with these other beings of life, these other types of life, in order to work with them and to hopefully improve with them. And so it turns out we see that this person talking is Zenith, and he is terrifying. Like, I have no idea what about him just, well, I don't know. I don't know what about him makes me so scared of him, because his face is just disgusting. He just makes me so uncomfortable. It turns out he's upgraded himself as well, probably a little more than he did with Apogee and Aphelion. And so he's talking to Stellar, saying, I tried to find all of you in order to show you this whole new world, in other words. And as he continues to talk, he says, I wanted you to see how I won. And then we see this interesting flashback where it's Umbra comforting Stellar, saying, don't worry about Zenith, you have us, we'll protect each other. And then Zenith cuts in saying, you were all so damn afraid of me, and why exactly? My enthusiasm for what we were reborn to do? I remember everything now, and I really hope we can see that little altercation between them, where I think the four of them turned on Zenith and possibly tried to kill him because, well, obviously that didn't work. But turns out Zenith is actually standing in front of this same portal that we saw in this film, and turns out that he wants to do a lot more. He possibly wants to take his power and his might into other dimensions and, you know, probably take over the multiverse, you know? But I'm still not too sure what his intentions are or what his goal is, because he doesn't exactly say, but the last thing we see him say here is maybe there's something more. Obviously he wants more, and I'm starting to think that he just wants to, you know, he just wants more power, you know? But hopefully we'll see what he's after as the series goes on. And Stellar has enough of it. She's tired of listening, and she breaks through of her restraints very easily. They obviously grossly underestimated her. And Zenith and Stellar start fighting again. And whatever this suit that he's wearing, or this armor that he's wearing, is made of, its elasticity is amazing. Like it's able to grow, it's able to stretch. It's incredible. But obviously not incredible enough, because Stellar blasts him with a blast of energy and pretty much obliterates most of this armor off of him, and it messes him up. And so Stellar looks like she's ready to, you know, destroy him and possibly this world that they're on in order to just stop this. But then we see a very gross Zenith, bloody and broken, saying, "You imbecile, the gate." And turns out the gate is open, and we see these beings that don't really look all that friendly, and Zenith says they're here. So maybe he was talking to someone on the other side and possibly plotting something against Stellar, because I don't think he's that stupid enough to underestimate her. But this is intense. I'm really excited to see where this series goes, and just to see what happens after this, because where are we going from here? But that's the end of this issue and the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, drop a like, show the love, hit that subscribe button to get more of my videos, ring the bell to get notifications of when I post new videos, so that way you guys stay updated and don't miss out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.